What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. During the last part, we saw it happen at the beginning of the Cell Saga, and now we're going to be continuing into that. Of course, a lot of things have changed so far, and this episode's going to be no different. Besides the obvious stuff with Kakarot, we've seen what happened with the future time travelers. Instead of Trunks, it's Gohan and Goten. Plus, Cell is completely different here too, at least in terms of power and his motivations, because now he wants to find even more power. Sure, he's perfect, but maybe he can go beyond that. We'll be seeing all of that and more in this part. For this video, let's set a like goal of 3,000 likes. If we hit that, I'll continue with another part of this series. Anyways, let's pick it from here. Cell wants to try and find more strength now, just like I was mentioning last time. What is he going to do to actually achieve that strength though? I mean, he likes his current power, but he knows he can go beyond that. He is perfect after all. He could probably perfect himself even more. He won't absorb these fighters, that wouldn't be any fun. He could go and ambush them right now, but he did promise to give them some time to prepare for the Cell games. So instead of actually doing that, he's going to have to come up with something different, although he would like to absorb them eventually, maybe after he defeats them in a fight. But yeah, if he absorbs them right now, then he'd have no one to fight at all. He'd be better off going elsewhere, outsourcing his power to somewhere else, and he knows exactly where to look. He heads out to space, starting to plot a plan. Meanwhile, on the lookout, everyone's going to start training in the Room of Spirit and Time, and they're each going in duos. They've already planned out which different pairs are going to go in. First, it's going to be Kakarot and Chi-Chi. Then it's going to be Gohan and Gohan, and then it's going to be Goten and Goten. It's better to have them go with themselves instead of someone else because they know themselves better than anyone. Gohan and Kid Goten training with their future selves would be better if anything. Of course, Goten is still a bit young, but hey, he'll get an extra year in the Room of Spirit and Time. And he does want to train with his future self. It's better to start early if anything. And as for Gohan, this is the most optimal option after all. If he wants to get ahead, he needs to learn things from his future self. His future self would be the best teacher of anyone because he knows where Gohan's weaknesses would be. And who knows, maybe he might even learn some things from his past self. And outside of these three duos, there's also another one going in, which is Krillin and Tenshinhan. Just to make sure that they're strong enough to help too, and to get stronger on their own regardless, even if they weren't going to be fighting. These different sections of training begin. And meanwhile out in space, Cell finds his targets. Instead of getting the people here on Earth, he knew exactly who to look out for. Other strong fighters that he heard of in passing from these guys. He didn't actually know who they were and how many they were, but he sensed these powers out in space. And eventually, he is able to find them. It's the three other Saiyans, Vegeta, Raditz, and Nappa. Of course, they've been up to their own thing and have been training, which means they are stronger than before, and they'll make a nice snack for Cell. When they encounter Cell, they have no idea what's going on, and Cell doesn't really want to draw this out. He wants to make sure his snacks are fresh. They try attacking him, but they can't do anything. Even with their new power, as Super Saiyans mind you, they're able to transform now. There's still not enough to actually fight Cell. After all this time, they finally unlock this transformation, but it's not doing anything to help them here. What the hell kind of opponent are they fighting? They have no clue what's going on, but before they even realize it, they end up getting absorbed by Cell. First it's Nappa. Vegeta and Raditz watch this happen, and they attempt to avenge him, but then Raditz gets absorbed. Vegeta has no idea what to do. He doesn't want to back down and be a coward, but he knows he has no hope of winning here. He tries to escape, but it's already too late. Cell's too fast and prevents Vegeta from escaping, then absorbing him next, and finally getting all the powers from them. He sees a significant increase in strength, plus he learns all their abilities and such. He doesn't transform at all, I mean he is perfect after all right now, but his power surges tremendously. This will definitely make the Cell games a lot more interesting, and everything beyond that. Speaking of, back on Earth, everyone's finished their training for the Cell games, and now they're just going to rest up before the Cell games actually begin. There's still some time left, and for some reason, it seems like Cell's not on Earth. He left for a few days and then eventually did come back, but no one knows where he went to or why he left at all. But as he waits in the middle of the arena, they notice something. His power has changed. The key signature they get from him when they try and sense it. He is still suppressed right now, so they can't really put their finger on what it is, but they can tell. Something is different. Something is very different. But what the hell happened to him? Did he get stronger they didn't know? Or did he absorb more people? Everyone tries theorizing, unsure of what happened, but they're definitely going to find out soon enough. And now, the actual Cell games can begin. Once the period of rest is over, they arrive at the arena, ready to fight. So, who's going to fight Cell first? He's elated, he's glad that they're all here, and he's ready to fight all of them at once. But he wonders who they're going to send out first. After a lot of delegation beforehand, they've already decided who's going to go first. It's future Gohan. Right now, he's actually the strongest of the group, especially after his training. Of course, all the Saiyans here have unlocked Super Saiyan Grade 4. Kakarot probably would have been the first one to do so, and he would have told the others about it as well. Well, except for present Goten. He's the only one having issues, but that's mainly because he's young. But as for everyone else, they're perfectly able to pull this off. And with future Gohan having it, he's going to make sure to put it to good use. The fight begins, and he's actually putting up a pretty good fight against Cell. At first, the two clash, and they're pretty even. And now, Gohan begins sensing more of his power. There's something strange about that. I mean, he can't really put his finger on it himself because these powers, he hasn't sensed them in a while. But immediately, the rest of the group can tell what's going on. Besides Goten and future Goten. Those powers, they sensed them not too long ago. They're from the Saiyans. And Kakarot can 100% tell. Wait, but Cell didn't have their powers before. He could sense Vegeta, Nappa, Raditz. What the hell? There has to be some explanation for this, right? It can't be the reason that they're thinking of. And Cell notices everyone changed in meter. Of course, it doesn't affect future Gohan too much because it's been so long since he sensed these powers that he doesn't really realize it right away. But he stops mid-fight too, noting it during battle, asking Cell what's happening. This power that he has, it's definitely different. They know he's changed since they last saw him. And he's curious, what did he do? And Cell looks over at the group. He could sense it, their rage. At least from some of them, specifically Kakarot. He smirks. He's hit a nerve, and he didn't even try anything yet. He noticed that this made them angry. He didn't even consider that though. I mean, Raditz is his brother after all. He doesn't know how close Kakarot and Raditz are, if at all. But maybe this revelation could be pretty fun. So he begins explaining. That power that they're sensing, it is the Saiyans. In the meantime, while he was waiting for them to train, he decided to go get stronger himself. And the best way to do that was to absorb people. But he didn't want to absorb people here on Earth. They don't really make that great of a snack. I mean, they are nice, but he can go get something stronger. Of course he wasn't going to go for these guys. No, that would mean he'd have no one to fight. So it's someone that he didn't want to fight, but someone that fits the criteria of a strong person. And the perfect people were the Saiyans. That's what his snack was. His snack? Yeah, that's what they are after all. He ate them, absorbed their power. He even shows it off too, utilizing their techniques against future Gohan as the fight resumes. A double Sunday from Raditz, a giant storm from Nappa, and a Gallic gun from Vegeta. He shows he's off just to get his point across. And every time he uses these techniques, they sense that part of him flare up. He's not bluffing. He actually did this. And then he looks at Kakarot. He apologizes. He knows the two might have not been that close, but he hopes he doesn't mind the fact that he ate his brother. And how poetic. He's going to use his brother's power to kill him and everyone else in his family. Kakarot can even comprehend what's happening. Raditz is dead? Of course, he wasn't that close with him, but this revelation does make him angry. Really angry. I mean, yeah, those Saiyans weren't good guys in the first place, but they've definitely been shaping up their act. I mean, they haven't done anything yet. He helped save them. He worked with them to defeat Frieza. They do have a bond, however small. And he remembers back to their fight with Frieza. He supported them. He helped them get stronger. They supported him, helped him get stronger. And during his fight, they were the ones there on the front lines with him, fighting alongside him, fighting to their potential death. They were the ones cheering him on. When he transformed, he remembers Raditz yelling out towards him. He might not have known it then. And things have definitely changed since then, but they were his comrades. He never really cared for the Saiyans. He was never really close with them, but these three specifically, he kinda was close with, even though he never even realized it. Now that they're gone though, he realized what he's missing. And he watches on. As Cell shows off more and more of this power, he realizes that he's actually way above where Gohan is, and future Gohan is the strongest person here. If he defeats Gohan, well, he's gonna kill him if anything. What is this feeling that Kakarot has within him? He can only describe it as what he felt against Frieza. That same sort of rage that he felt. Of course, it's a different kind of rage. Back then, it was sadness combined with anger at the death of Master Roshi. And now he feels regret. Regret that he never reached out to those Saiyans again. Also concern. Concern for Gohan and everyone else around him. But most importantly, that anger is still there. And Cell notices this. He continues beating up future Gohan. They tell Gohan to leave the fight. He's not gonna win this, he's just gonna die. But he's determined. He could win this. No one else can. He's the only one that can accomplish this, if anything. He faces more and more injuries, and it only gets worse as it goes on. But then, he senses something strange. Cell senses it too, from Kakarot. His power surging, that rage, it's finally bubbling up. He has to do something. He doesn't want to just sit here and watch, and even if he does fight later on, what's that gonna do? If future Gohan and Super Saiyan isn't enough, how is he gonna do anything? He needs strength. He needs to kill Cell. He needs to make him face consequences for his actions. And he begins thinking beyond that. If they don't win here, who else is next? His version of Gohan, Chi-Chi, Goten, future Goten, Roshi, Krillin, Bulma, Tenshinhan, all of his friends and family. Everyone that he's met along the way, and people even beyond that. But of course, him too. Determination, anger, regret, sadness. So many emotions well up within him. But that determination overcomes it all. Power explodes out of him. He screams. Sparks of electricity course through the area. He floats up above the ground, above his friends. His hair spikes up even further. He's re-energized, charged up. No, that doesn't even explain it. He's empowered. Without a second thought, he flies over to Cell, now with this new power in his hands. He leaves no time for Cell to react, or future Gohan for that matter, but Gohan realizes that he needs to join in and help. He doesn't know what this new power is, but he realized that this is an opportunity. They need to use it. And as the battle continues, Kakarot realizes he's ascended Super Saiyan. He knew that this could happen, but he didn't think it actually would happen. Who cares about the Cell games anymore? They all need to fight together. He and Gohan alone is actually enough to overpower Cell, but others begin joining in. Future Goten comes in. Then, present Gohan. But still, Kakarot is the main attacker, and he makes sure that Cell feels it. His attacks are potent. Cell realizes he made a grave mistake. He shouldn't have tried to push them. He saw Kakarot getting angry, but he didn't know it would lead to this. He thought it would draw some power out, and it did, but he didn't expect this to happen. He's done the opposite of what he wanted to do. This isn't a fun fight anymore. This is the end of him. He needs to think of something, and quick, but he doesn't have time to. Every time he tries to attack, he's hit by someone else. And then by another person, and then another. Of course, these attacks are powerful, but then he gets the main course, attacks from future Gohan and Kakarot. And then, the group is ready to finish it off with a bang. Kakarot leads the charge, charging up a Kamehameha. Future Gohan joins in, then Gohan, then both Gotens, then Chi-Chi. All of them lined up together. This is going to be an attack that transcends time. This isn't just a family Kamehameha, it's a timeless one. The massive beam is launched. As everyone's attacks swirl together, Cell is hopeless to counter against it. The others want to join in too, but they don't even need to. There's so much power in this one attack that it's going to definitely erase Cell for good, and it does exactly that. He's completely decimated by this attack. Every single little bit of him. No regeneration here. He's completely gone, and they've defeated him for good. They all power down. Kakarot does too. He has a control on his rage. Unlike when he turned Super Saiyan for the first time, he has control here. Of course, the circumstances aren't as dire as then, and the things he was reacting to, that's definitely part of it. But still, those emotions were 100% genuine, and they were there, and they were powerful. But what are they supposed to do now? Yeah, they defeated Cell, but there's still some issues. Well, there's easy fixes to all of this. First of all, the Dragon Balls. They can make sure to revive everyone. And in that wish, that would definitely include Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz. Of course, they wouldn't know it, and they wouldn't even be able to see them at the moment. But with this wish, it does revive them too, which is great. A nice added bonus on top of the fact that it revives everyone else killed by Cell, which would also include the androids unknowingly. The group didn't even consider this, and they're going to find out later on, but not right now. As for Gohan and Goten, they can head back to their timeline. They've gotten stronger, and they know more about the androids, especially Cell. They'll be prepared, not only to defeat Cell, but to defeat 17 and 18 in their timeline. They could win here, and they thank everyone for their help. It was nice seeing them again, especially seeing Chi-Chi and Kakarot. It's a bit bittersweet, but at least they were able to save this timeline. Even if their timeline can't be reversed, they can still save it. There's hope for it. And yeah, they might not be able to bring Chi-Chi and Kakarot back, as well as everyone else here. But they can still persist, make the timeline a much better place than it is now. Maybe even make it better than this one. Who knows though. And hey, they could also seek out the Saiyans in the future too. They do definitely exist there, so maybe it would be worthwhile. But that's not something they can do right now. First, they need to defeat the androids. They thank everyone for their help, saying their goodbyes as they head back to their timeline. And with the group being victorious in the Cell games and having defeated Cell, this is where we're going to leave off for now. So, what did you guys think about this part? What do you think is going to happen next time? Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you like the video, be sure to drop a like. And let's try to hit that like goal from the beginning of the video so we get another part of this series. If you haven't already, why not subscribe? As well as hitting the bell icon so you're notified about any future uploads on my channel, including more parts of the series or any of the videos like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.